everyone, and welcome to 1923 Main Street, where pavement, powder, and perfect swells combine with travel style every week. I'm your host, Mike Belobradic, and today, something a little different. Is longboarding good practice for snowboarding? Let's talk about why a skateboard crossover makes perfect sense for snowboarders in the off-season. You know, if you've snowboarded long enough, eventually summer can become a bit of a letdown. Not emotionally, but functionally. You spend the entire winter getting really good, getting your balance in, carving edge control gets it better. Your body positioning is where you want it. You've moved your stance around, then suddenly the snow melts and you start waiting for winter again or trying to find something to fill the space. This is when a lot of snowboarders start wondering about skateboarding, and more specifically, longboarding and surf skates. So, does this make sense? Yes, it does. And it's not because those boards are perfectly made to recreate snowboarding, because they don't, but both of these board types are good for movement patterns, your stance awareness, your carving instincts, and they flow in ways that actually will carry over when winter comes back around. But it's important to understand the difference between a traditional longboard and a surf skate, and which one is better for your riding style and your riding level. So longboarding does help with skateboarding. Let's get that out of the way right off the top. Not you're suddenly going to be riding like a pro if you've never done either one before, but definitely in terms of the feel, the balance, and the mechanics of your body in many ways. Longboarding will help you with balance, stability, weight transfer, confidence when you're turning, the carving motion, front side and backside rotation awareness, board control if you want to pick up a little speed, take a nice easy incline, no steep hills, and lower body coordination as well. But most importantly, it keeps your body thinking sideways stance all through hot summer days. It sounds simple, but it matters. If you've never been on a board before, snowboarding stance can feel unnatural at first. Longboarding will teach or keep those muscles and reactions active for you through the off-season. This is especially true if you're the type of snowboarder who likes carving groomed runs instead of bombing a hill, or you spend time in the park as well. All right, let's talk about traditional longboards versus a surf skate. What's the difference and which one's for you? So this is where things get a little interesting if you're not super familiar with skateboarding, because not all longboards are made the same way, and your experience will be different with each one. I mean, for that matter, not all longboards are the same length, right? So you've got a few things to consider, just like snowboards. Traditional longboards are mainly built with a few things in mind. Stability, good for cruising, they carve smoothly, they're good for distance riding, really, and speed control is solid. These types of longboards have longer wheelbases, larger wheels, and softer wheels often, wider decks, and more stable trucks. So for snowboarders, this feels really familiar. The ride's smoother, it's more planted, it's more forgiving than a regular skateboard for sure. And if you're brand new to longboarding, this is a very good place to start. Longboarding helps with snowboarding because it will teach or allow you to practice a few things. Not exactly the same, but definitely in a positive and transferable, very familiar way. Edge-like carving pressure is one. Smooth turning transitions, shifting your weight, and maintaining a stable, solid stance when you get a little speed. So if you love carving on a snowboard, or if you think that's the kind of snowboarding you're going to want to do, traditional longboarding feels pretty natural. This is the way to go if you like free riding or carving, you ride all mountain terrain, you want relaxed riding in the off-season, and you care more about flow and cruising than you do tricks. If your snowboard's directional and it's not a twin, this is the way to go. Then there are surf skates. Surf skates are different. They use specialized front trucks designed to sort of mimic the surfing style pumping and ultra-tight carving on the waves. The ride is looser, twitchier, and much more dynamic. It's very lively. These boards are active. You generate speed by pumping instead of pushing constantly, but this doesn't mean that they're not good for snowboarders. Snowboarders love them because more experienced snowboarders, I would say, because they can help you train sort of deeper carving mechanics, compression and extension, which is transferable to snowboarding. Your shoulder rotation and rapid edge-to-edge transitions also important on the hill. Plus flow and rhythm, which in many ways overrides everything. So in some ways, depending on your snowboarding riding style, surf skates can actually feel closer to carving on a snowboard than a traditional skateboard or longboard does. But I'd say this is more applicable to riders who like surf-style snowboarding. You know, you do tight turns, or you like going off trail and doing tree runs, or carving really tight, sharp, dynamic carves, or you like to play with terrain. If you're a park person, a surf skate might be for you. So which one's better for snowboarding practice? Well, here's how to pick. Choose a traditional longboard if you like speed and stability, you want mellow cruising, you ride groomers or packed freeride terrain, you are new to skateboarding, and you want easier learning for your curves. Choose a surf skate if you love carving aggressively, you like riding dynamically, you want that maximum crossover feeling. You already have a decent balance already, and you're a solid snowboarder. If you enjoy time spent in snowboard parks, a surf skate might feel really fun for you. Having said all of this, let's face it, for a lot of you, the ideal setup is both. That's what we have here at 1923 Main Street. Pretty much everyone has multiples of both types of boards, one for cruising, one for carving, and that's the way to go. But if you have to start with one and you're new or you've never snowboarded, go with a traditional longboard. Which leads to the question, does longboarding actually improve snowboarding? Yes, it does, but indirectly. Longboarding won't magically make you a switch rider or a park master or killer powder rider or even rail riding or any of that stuff. You'll need a popsicle board if you want to practice rails and things like that. But longboarding or surf skates, probably more longboarding, absolutely improves board confidence, turning comfort, your body awareness on a board, and your overall balance. The follow-up really is, will longboarding help you learn to snowboard if you've never snowboarded before? This is a common question. It's a fair question, and the answer again is yes, absolutely. Again, not because it perfectly mimics snowboarding, but because it teaches some of the hardest beginner concepts before you ever step onto the snow. One of the biggest early hurdles for snowboarding people when they're first learning is simply getting comfortable standing sideways while moving, and the foot stance. Longboarding helps remove that awkwardness, and you'll already know whether you're goofy or regular. It will help you with basic balance, turning confidence, shifting your weight, front side and back side awareness, comfort moving at speed in that stance, and coordinating your upper and lower bodies. So learning all of those things ahead of time on a longboard matters a lot more than people think. Obviously, it doesn't mean you're instantly going to be a perfect snowboarder, but in my experience with a lot of people, including my daughter watching her grow up, most people who've spent time longboarding tend to progress a little faster because they already understand basic board movement. All right, everyone, I hope that helps. I hope you get out and ride this summer on a longboard or a surf skate or both. Have fun, practice, and wait for the snow to fall again. Thanks as always for listening. Follow along on social media at 1923 Main Street. Visit the shop at 1923mainstreet.com, and you can wear those snowboard tees all summer this way. We'll see you again next week, and as always, roam freely and ride boldly.